It finally happened. We got the Jedi Survivor trailer / gameplay at the Game Awards on December 8th. If you want to see my live reaction to watching the trailer for the first time, it's here on my YouTube. You can go check it out. But that being said, today we're going to be talking about the trailer and dissecting it scene by scene, kind of looking at what we've been shown, what we haven't been shown, and I'm going to be speculating a little bit about what I think is going to happen in this game. Obviously, all of this is speculation. It's just kind of what I'm thinking in my head. But let's get into it. We start out on who I've been calling the Tank Jedi. He says, "The order is gone. I was betrayed by the one I trusted the most. I will not be imprisoned again." This statement makes it seem like the people who put him in this tank were people he trusted. This could be his master, and he was a Padawan, perhaps another Jedi that he trusted in the Order, or something along those lines. Either way, he seems to not be on Cal's side, not be on the side of the Jedi, and therefore I'm wondering if he's going to be a major antagonist in our story. We do perhaps get a little bit more information later on how long he's been in the tank, but we'll talk about that when we get to that point. Next, we see a lot of cool combat. First, we're looking at some Magna Guards. I'm very excited about all the new droid enemies that we're going to be seeing in this game, and here we can see Cal fighting with just the single-bladed saber. Next, we see some scout troopers getting thrown into the air with a new potential force move of some sort of like throwing into the air and crashing down into the ground. We'll see. And lastly, we see a K2 droid with some stormtroopers getting force pushed in what seems to be an Imperial ship. Next, we come across an interesting clip with a mysterious man who is perhaps a bounty hunter wielding a second Cal Kestis saber with the crossguards already attached. The question here is, did he steal the crossguard saber from Cal for this fight? Or is this how we're going to unlock the crossguard saber during the game? Is this man found Cal's saber and attached a crossguard, and now we're going to have to fight him for it? I'll be interested to see. Next, we see the traumatic scene with the Mantis. Cal Kestis and BD-1 flying what looks to be a perfectly fine Mantis and crashing it into the ground. I will go over my speculations later on why this might be, but obviously Cal is not the best pilot in the galaxy, but we know BD-1 was trying to help. But because of this crash landing, we are now on this planet that has been in most of all of the promotional materials for this game so far. There's been some speculation on what this planet might be, but we don't really know for sure. It's possible it could be an entirely new planet, and I'm not sure which one I would prefer. And now we get to see Cere. I am so glad to see Cere in this trailer. She's one of the only Mantis crew that we see in this trailer, and she looks absolutely amazing. A lot of people have been speculating that she is perhaps on Bogano and has created a library, but I personally think she's elsewhere. Perhaps a new base on a new planet. But that being said, she's continuing Eno Cordova's desire for knowledge, and I think that's amazing. She says, "I hear you've been busy making yourself the Empire's most wanted. A lot of people are speculating this means that Cal hasn't seen her in quite a while. But I don't think that's necessarily true. I'm sure Cal can make himself the Empire's most wanted in just a few days. He doesn't need months or weeks or even years, and so it's possible they've only been apart for a little bit." Next, we get more fighting sequences, starting with what I think is a really cool new Force ability, to use stormtroopers and other enemies' weapons and friends against them using Force Pull. I'm really interested to see how this mechanic works with potential other enemies, but it just looks really cool here. This part really interests me. Beast taming isn't a Force power we see a lot, and I'm very excited to see what beasts we can tame and ride throughout the game. My question here is, are the beasts needed because we're going to need to traverse large landscapes because the new game is just so big? Or is it going to be more like an AT-AT sequence from the first game, where you just get to ride the beast for a specific little segment of the game and then you don't really get to do it anymore? We also see the bird/pterodactyl kind of creature here, so it's possible there will be areas that can only be reached with the beast taming skill. Now we're starting to see some of the big characters we'll be fighting, starting with these two, who look to be bounty hunters. The one we see the fight with here seems to be humanoid, and the other is a species called Gendai, which in Legends is notoriously hard to kill, so it'd be interesting to see how the Legends species comes into canon. There also seems to be a lot of zappy sticks in the hands of enemies in this game, so I'll be interested to see if we get any specific Force powers to deal with that better. We also see here in the sequence the first use of the dual lightsaber blades being used separately, which looks like it will be a new lightsaber style being brought to the game. Next we see what looks to be a cliff wampa. They've been shown in Legends, but it looks like they're being brought into canon. I wonder if we'll be fighting this beast to the death or finding a way to tame it. Next, we're reintroduced to the DT series sentry droid that we see in Clone Wars and Rebels. They are mostly used for training and guards, and it seems like they're being guards in this sequence. Next, we get a cutscene of Cal fighting off what looks to be an LAAT patrol gunship, similar to the ones that we see at the beginning and in the middle of Jedi Fallen Order, so it's one that we're familiar with. Then we meet a new companion character, Bode, who seems like someone we will be seeing a lot of. This also introduces what looks to be a new way of fighting with a companion. The question here is this ability just specific for Bode, or will we meet other companion characters, Marin and Grease potentially, that can also fight alongside Cal in our adventures? This is also the first scene that we actually see a blaster on Cal's hip. Perhaps he gets the blaster from Bode. Either way, I'll be interested to see more blaster gameplay hopefully soon. Next we see a fight against a very adorable dinosaur creature. I hope we don't have to kill him. I'm glad it seems like we'll be fighting less animals in this game. Fighting droids and stormtroopers always feels a lot more satisfying. So we have the clip that so many people are swooning over, myself included, of Cal looking absolutely amazing. This is one of the coolest moves. I love the double-bladed spin throw. Also in this clip, we see the first BD-1 battle droids. They look like they've been reprogrammed and have forward droids and officer-type droids who are fighting from further away and have grenades. This is a scene where we perhaps get a glimpse into what the man in the tank might be. It looks very much like he's wearing robes from the High Republic era, which means that he could have been in the tank for over 80 years before he was released, and you can't blame him for being upset. Next, we get another shot of the B-1 battle droids, and if you look closely to the left side, you can also see a B-2 super battle droid. We'll be watching out for those wrist rockets for sure. Now we get a cool shot of the double-wielded sabers in action with a cool dash and block animation. Then we get to see some cool new physical movement. From this clip, we can gather that we'll be getting a jump, in-air dash, and a new grappling hook maneuver to help us traverse the new landscapes. We'll be able to go down walls by stabbing into them to slow our descent. Here again, you can see more B-1 and B-2 battle droids. Here's a nice scene where Cal shows off the new crossguard saber that I'm assuming, in addition to the single blade, double blade, and dual wielding, will make up some new fighting styles you can choose from in the game. As we can see here fighting the BX Commando droid, it seems like a double-handed, more hard-hitting fighting style utilizing the crossguard saber. And finally, we have the release date, March 17th, 2023. I cannot wait for this game to release. It looks like it's going to be so good. Alright, now I want to talk about my speculations for what I think the story of this game is going to be about. This trailer was very gameplay heavy because it was a gameplay trailer, but I want to speculate with you right now about what I think the story is going to be about. From a lot of the interviews with Cameron Monaghan, it kind of sounds like this game, unlike the first game that was very about found family and coming together with other people that are struggling, this game is going to be about the strain that being part of a rebellion, trying to fight a major Imperial force, is going to put on the family that we grew to love in the first game. I think a lot of this game is going to be about Cal rebelling, trying really risky things, getting in trouble, etc. So my speculation here has to do with the crashing of the Mantis. I think that Cal is going to learn from somebody that there is a Jedi that is trapped that can help them fight the Empire. A hidden Jedi in a tank somewhere. He's going to go to the Mantis crew, he's going to say, hey guys, I know that there's this hidden Jedi, he can help us against the Empire. And the whole Mantis crew is going to be like, I don't know how I feel about that, I don't think we should go find that guy, we have bigger problems, whatever that may be. And Cal is going to say, no, I know this is going to help the Empire, this will help us fight the Empire, and he's going to steal the Mantis, which is why we see him in the perfectly fine Mantis without Grease, because him and BD are going to stow away, steal the Mantis, Grease is going to be so mad, and they're going to crash land on this planet, free this Jedi that he thought was going to help them fight against the Empire, who they're then going to have to fight because they're going to free him and realize he doesn't want to support the Jedi Order or fight against the Imperials. So this is my speculation on what kind of happens with the family and how we get from the happy family we see at the end of Jedi Fallen Order to Cal crash landing the Mantis. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more nuance to the story, and there's more after that, but that is just the speculation I have right now. We also know that we've just not seen a lot of things that are going to be happening in this game, which I think is amazing. I'm so glad that so much of the story is being kept from us, because what's the fun in playing a game if you already know what happens? And I think they have a lot of really cool things, cool characters that we're going to be meeting down the road, and I cannot wait to see what they have planned for the next trailers that we're going to be seeing, Jedi Battle Scars the book, and the game releasing on March 17th. May the Force be with you.